Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Safe File Scoreboard podcast. I'm your host, Gyro Gaming, here with my co-host,
Adam the Atomizer.
and today we are going to be rating a game from our childhood, the very obscure Star Wars Revenge of the Sith plug and play, which is both on the emulator that I played and on the physical console that Atomizer played. So, what I played was, there's an emulator called MAME. It is an emulator for a bunch of ancient and obscure consoles, such as the V-Smile, which is an educational console, plug-and-play games, such as this one that we've played. The Atomizer played on the classic plug-and-play that has like 3 AV ports. So, from my experience, I played, I'd say roughly 2 hours worth. I only played about an hour's worth of gameplay on recording, but then I went back like later on a different day and I played a little bit more because I wanted to get higher scores and kind of test a couple of theories for like just I'll explain in their categories, but like certain games I needed to test certain things to like verify whether or not I could do something or other for the scores. And I'll get into that later. But Atomizer, how about you? What was your experience this week?
So, for the initial recording, I got an hour and 15 minutes worth of footage. That's basically 15 minutes of playtime for each game. But off camera, I played a bit more to try to like boost my scores a little bit. I didn't like test any theories, but I wanted to see how far I get with some of these games.
Alright, perfect. So we got pretty much the same exact experience here. Now, the way we decided to rate this game, we are not rating it overall based off of our 4 main categories. And speaking of our 4 main categories, a change for the future. This is just a future podcast update. We are changing replayability score to enjoyability score because
I thought it was originality score.
Or that's what I meant. Originality score. Originality score, not replayability. Replayability is a good category. Originality score to enjoyability score, because we determined that some games may not be very original, but they may still be good games. And so, for the future episodes, we are going to let that be the actual grading scale. I looked back at my previous games and rated them based off of enjoyability rather than originality. And they didn't really change the ratings. It changed a couple of scores, but it didn't really change the ratings. So I think we're just going to leave the scoreboard as is, intact. And this will just be a future change for any upcoming episodes.
Right.
But for this week, we are giving each game on this plug and play a score 0 out of 20 based off of pretty much just enjoyability. Like it's not just not just enjoyability, but like when it comes down to it, it's just a score, and enjoyability affects it the most.
Yeah.
So there are 5 games: Droid Invasion, Coruscant Attack, Grievous Onslaught, Gunship Battle, and Utapau Chase. Now, we are going to start with Droid Invasion. I'm going to let Atomizer take it away here and see how he did.
Okay, so Droid Invasion. This was probably my least favorite of the bunch. That being said, though, it's still a lot of fun. Like, the only thing I wasn't a fan of in this game was like how you only had basically 2 speeds of movement. Like, even if you tap the stick, you could like sprint in like a little direction, or if you're holding your blade up until just like the lasers, you would just move slowly. There was no in between. You could not like creep across the screen to try to get power-ups without getting hit by a blast. But I should probably explain the premise of the game before I get into my complaints. So, in Droid Invasion, you're going across different planets as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're being approached by this droid army, and they're blasting at you with laser blasts. Your objective is to hold out your lightsaber and to deflect the blasts of the enemy back at the droids in order to kill them. And there are 3 different kinds of droids. Like, there's the regular basic B1 droids, there's a red B1 droid that gets power-ups, and then a super battle droid to take like 2 hits to go down. There is more, but I'm gonna save that for like anyone that do decide to go find an emulator and play it. But
Okay,
yeah, it's pretty much all the gameplay.
I was gonna say there's not just 3 types of enemies, but if you're saving it for people who want to try it out, then I guess we can save it. I just thought you didn't get as far as I did if you weren't saying it.
Well, I only got to stage 2, so.
Oh, I got to level 2 of stage 1.
I got to stage 2. It was Naboo, Geonosis that kept dying on Geonosis. Which is why, and also this is something we're going to be doing for this episode specifically. We're going to be sharing our top scores in each of these categories. I only scored a 670 out of, well, I don't know. There's no top score. So my top score in this game was 670 points. Just goes to show how far I did not get.
Yeah, my top score ended up being 1740.
Show off. Just wait till you see my later scores. Anyway, so the complaint about the controls included, the game is still fun. Like, the concept is still there. Like, you have like a few power ups like force push, a double bladed lightsaber, and a shield. Honestly, the shield, I felt it would have been more useful. It didn't really come in that much use. Because, like, once you get to certain boss fights, then all you have to do is just stand there and move around with your lightsaber, and you don't even die.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my big main point about this game, is that literally you just have to stand in the middle of the stage on every single boss fight, and you just win. It may take some time, and you're just standing there, but you will win.
Which is why I adjust my angles slightly to get different angles of blasts. But I digress. That complaint aside, this makes, for me, Droid Invasion, everything included, it gets a 13 out of 20.
Interesting. So, I had a very similar experience with the game. I don't have much more to say beyond that. I wouldn't say this game is my least favorite, but it was definitely like lower than some of the other ones. But I did actually like get decently far, and it was I guess I would say I enjoyed it, but it was a little annoying how some of the mechanics worked, especially like the boss fights being standing one place, like we said.
Right.
But the best power up in this game for sure is the force push. Certain power ups are better in certain games, like the force push is in like this game, and it's also in like a different game that we'll discuss later.
I did a bunch of the games, honestly.
Yeah. But this one, it pushes back the enemy lines, and that was literally my saving grace in so many aspects. Just getting the force push, like, always saved me. One interesting thing I had to note, though, if you had a power-up active and you use a different one, it wipes your current power-up. Such as, if you have a shield and you use force push, your shield disappears because you force pushed. Or if you have a double-bladed lightsaber, and then you use like a shield or a force push or something, then your double-bladed lightsaber disappears, and then it replaces it with the current power-up instead of stacking, which is unfortunate because I wish you could like stack it.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Actually, that was annoying. Like, they only ever give you one power-up slot no matter what you do.
Yeah, because like you could store a power-up behind your other power-up. Like, if you're using a shield, you could have a power-up in your hotbar. But then if you need to force push because the enemies are getting too close, then you just have to force push and wipe your shield. Because the shield's good against enemy blasts, but if they reach your bottom line, the shield's going to do squat diddly. So, that was a bit annoying. But, also, a bit of feedback I have that you didn't because I reached level 2. So, the way it works is there are 3 stages. Naboo, Geonosis, and I think it was Mustafar. I could be wrong. It was something like lava-y.
No, I think I remember being Mustafar from when I was younger. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and then you go back to Naboo again. So I got to Naboo level 2, or Did I beat it? I think I beat level 2 actually of Naboo, and I didn't beat Geonosis. I don't remember. I know I got past Naboo level 2 actually, because I just wanted to comment on the boss fight there, where it's actually different than the first boss fight. The boss, like, tank thingy goes back and forth to the left and the right across the screen.
Really?
Yeah, instead of, like, staying in one place. Which I wish had made more of a difference, but it didn't. I still stood in the middle and beat it.
Fair
But
enough.
it was interesting that they changed it up. Anyway, all that being said, funnily enough, my score is also a 13 out of 20.
So 14, you said?
13.
13.
Same,
So
same
we're
score
tied.
as you, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I gotcha.
Alright, so now Coruscant Attack.
Ooh.
So this game was a space, like you are, what's it called? You are I think you're Obi-Wan's, flying, or your Obi-Wan's ship, and you are flying around, I guess, if based on the name, above Coruscant, and you are trying to defeat a certain amount of enemies in the sky, and there are certain levels where you have to beat big ships, like you shoot down like the turrets and the cannons and stuff on a big ship to defeat it. This game was probably my least favorite. I didn't really like it.
Really?
I didn't really like the drift. Like the drift, like the way it worked was like you just, if you're moving to the left, right, up or down, it just like moves your ship in that direction. If you hold the B button, it's a drift, aka you just stop your momentum and you just keep going the direction you were going when you started holding the B button. I understand the point of it because you need to be able to like fire independently of your actual momentum, but it was just very difficult to learn. That being said, I did actually like get a decent score eventually. Although the gap between my top score and my second top score was pretty big. My second top score was an 805, but my top score ended up being a 2125.
Dang, I didn't play Coruscant Attack nearly enough to got that high of a score, and I enjoyed that game.
Well, what's your score?
My top score was a 965, and that was with me drifting around, having figured out the drift and how to use it properly.
Oh yeah, I had one hot run and I was like, okay, there we go. So, I should probably clarify. One thing I did in this is I tried to play every game to beat 1,000 points, just so that way I had enough, like, experience to get as far enough to really experience the whole game. So none of my scores are below 1,000 points. Let's just get that out the way.
Okay, well then I will say, these two games that I said my top score are the only ones below 1,000.
Okay, good. So it might be more of a competition in the next couple ones.
I bet you if I'd given Coruscant Attack a bit more time, then I would have gotten over 1,000.
Yeah. I specifically was playing until I got over 1,000, which is why I had an 805 that jumped to a 2125, because once I got that score, I was like, okay, let's call it there. So I did get the hang of it. I did like figure it out pretty easily. It wasn't super enjoyable. It was like kind of annoying.
I loved it personally.
But yes, I gave this game a 10 out of 20. It was still decent. It just wasn't my favorite.
Well, here's where our score is going to differ quite a bit. So, Coruscant Attack. I adored this game. Like, what he said about the drift being bad, I very much used it to my advantage. Like, yes, it keeps carrying you in the direction that you were already going, but that's really helpful when you're being chased by like two vultures and a tri-fighter, and you destroy the tri-fighter and it creates a few buzz droids. If you're going in direction already running away from them, you can hold drift, turn around while you're still moving that way, and shoot behind you, and you won't have to worry about crashing into the buzz droids. That was a lifesaver for me during my run. And like I used that to my advantage. And I did the same thing on the battleship levels, like where I would be moving in a certain direction along the battleship, making my attack runs, and I'd be blasting the turrets as I go, like moving forward, drift, turn sideways, like just shoot my laser over and over and over. Like, I racked up a lot of extra lives during one of these stages, so I had like a lot to go with. But that being said, the controls could have been a little better. I don't know exactly how, but like I feel like it could have been a little more intuitive. There could have been a little bit better power-ups, but like, then again, it's just a ships in space game, which is what Star Wars is about. It's ships in space. At least for the opening, it's about ships in space. I think it's meant to be the first scene of Revenge of the Sith, so that makes sense. So, that being my only complaint, like Coruscant's attack for me is a 17 out of 20.
Nice, nice. Alright. You want to take it away on Grievous Onslaught?
Oh boy, Grievous Onslaught. So, at first, in my gameplay video, I sucked at this game. I could not get past like stage 2 because I could not quite get the attack patterns down of these droids. But after my whole 15 minutes of each game thing, off camera, I played some more of this game, and I started to get the hang of it more, and I actually got a better top score. That being said, though, I had figured out a really good strategy. The three main power-ups for this game, well, I forgot to explain the power-ups during the last one, but the three main power-ups for this game were Force Push, Shield, and Stun. And I don't have any use for the first or the last one, so Shield was my main ally in Grievous Onslaught. I can make a Shield last for several rooms if I played my cards right. And honestly, if I was just able to beat the red Super Battle Droid, get Shield every time, I could just like go level after level after level. So that, with doing that, made my top score actually a 1,500.
Oh yeah. I had a very similar strategy, but I got a 2,500.
Okay, show off. So I'm assuming you did. I was gonna surprise you with this, but I'm assuming you did encounter Grievous once or twice.
I ran away from him, yes, if that's what you're referring to.
Yes. I died to him several times because I couldn't run away fast enough. I was too busy trying to take out the Droidekas. Man, here I thought I'd done something unique.
I actually only saw him once, and that was because I had to do something else, so I left my character on the screen after beating the level for like a minute, and then like I think I was writing something down for my score or something, and so then I was so I had finished the level. I was like writing something down, and I saw Grievous. I was like, oh, nope, you know, I just ran away.
Meanwhile, I only saw him because I kept taking too long in the level because I wanted to not die. Like that being said, like I will say the controls, again, it's because it's like an older game. I'm using the actual hardware, but like the controls is one of the main reasons that I kept dying during my actual playthrough video. I don't know. They don't allow you to hold your lightsaber out to deflect blasts more easily. You have to actually time your swing to deflect the blast. And while it does work, it can be a bit painstaking to learn because you're gonna keep dying a lot. But eventually you'll get the hang of it. And then there are these rooms where because the whole point of this is you're playing as Anakin Skywalker. You've crash landed onto the General Grievous' ship, and you're supposed to be trying to rescue the Chancellor. When you get to the Chancellor, there are like two Magna Guards you can't attack right away. You have to wait till the ship's been hit. But in order to do that, you have to beat all the super battle droids that are flocking into the room. When the ship gets hit, the Magna Guards go down, but that's because they're guarding. But that's when they're open for attack. You have to do that twice, basically one for each Magna Guard. But then the Chancellor gets moved, so then you have to go hunt them down again, which is like 3 or 4 more rooms of super battle droids. It's a very wash, rinse, repeat style game, but I honestly enjoyed it. It's like one of the few I don't want to call it a platformer, but you know what I'm trying to get at with it's one of the only styles of games that is like that on this console.
Yeah.
So that being said, my score with Grievous Onslaught is 15 out of 20.
Nice. Yeah, so as I said, this game I got a pretty high score, and the reason behind that was because, as I told Atomizer at the beginning of this episode, I had some theories I wanted to test because, as a child, this used to be my favorite game on this console. And the reason behind that was actually because I thought this game seemed the most progressionable. Like, I thought there was more progression. And the problem I was having was for some reason, I could have sworn there was a way you could move on to, like, other sections. Like, not just the sections that are repeating over and over again. I thought there were, like, other kinds of levels or something. So I was kind of trying to get a really high score and see if there was, like, anything else besides, like, the sections we were going through. Which, as far as I know, there aren't. It was just my deluded childhood brain assuming there was going to be more to the game than there was.
That's probably why there's such a high score for you, and as well as Father on this console for this game specifically.
Oh yeah, I would be interested to hear what, like, all of the high scores on that console are.
Well, they'll be on my gameplay whenever I decide to upload it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's why I have such a high score in this game, because I was kind of trying to research that. And then I will piggyback off of what you said about the shields. Like, my favorite power-up was definitely the shields. And I remember this from my childhood. If you have a shield, and then you grab a shield as a backup power-up, all you gotta do is you just play the game, and you basically have extra health. It's basically just resupplying your health bar instead of having to die in one shot.
I will say, the one complaint I did have was the fact you had to wait for the power-ups to cycle to the one you wanted.
I appreciated that, though, because it's better than giving you a random power-up and not being able to get the shield.
That's fair enough.
So, I didn't really have a complaint with that because I would rather it cycle than be a set power-up and just get stuck with garbage, like on the droid invasion where, like, there's a chance you could get, like, whatever power-up and it could be something dumb, like, I mean, like, double-bladed lightsaber is okay, but it's on one of the first couple levels, it's not great. You kind of more want force push. Also, I don't know if you ever encountered on Droid Invasion. Sorry to go back, but I just remembered. I don't know if you ever encountered it, but if you hit one of the battle droids that give you a power-up, there's a very low chance that it drops a bomb instead of a power-up.
The game did warn me about thermal detonators, but I never encountered one.
I didn't realize it. I didn't read. I just kind of went for it, so I didn't realize there was going to be a bomb. It just, like, I thought it was a power-up. I was like, oh, bomb powers. Boom! Blew myself up in the face. And that was the first time I got the Mustafar with one life left. So, that was fun.
I want to see your reaction to that.
Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, back to Grievous Onslaught. Another thing I found out that you could do is there is a very perfect place on the Chancellor Room where, like, while the debris is falling, if you go in between the Magna Guards and they can't hit you, and you wait for the debris to fall, you can frame perfect one-shot both guards in a single debris fall.
Really?
Yeah, you have to be standing right in between them while the debris is falling, so that way you can get, like, as soon as they go down, you go. I went left and then right, but it doesn't really matter which one. You as soon as they fall down on their knees, you go over to one, you slash, you run over to the other, slash, and you kill both of them.
That's fair. Like, that would be good for, like, a speed running style thing, but I typically did the whole thing after one at a time, because the more droids I took out, the higher my score ended up being. But that being said, I still didn't get as far as you did, so there probably is a lot of merit to your strategy there.
Yeah, I mean, my strategy was purely based off of I was trying to get progression because for some reason my child-addled brain thought there was progression in this game.
It's a plug and play, man. You should know there's no progression.
Yeah, but as a child, you kind of don't understand the limitations of a plug and play.
No, I gotcha. That's fair enough.
But yeah, I did have that little strategy up my belt as well, so that was pretty cool to be able to pull off. Although more times than not, I wouldn't be in that exact perfect spot and then one of the Magna Guards would knock off my shield while I was trying to like position myself. I didn't die in the middle of them usually, but like I would lose my shield before they went down because I didn't position myself right. I was like too
Right.
close to one or the other. But anyway, all that being said, Reva's Onslaught gets a 15 out of 20.
Oh, so tied my score. Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. We've got a lot of similar scores here.
I think we are ourselves pretty much similar minds when it comes to this console.
Yeah. Although I think this one might be where we differ, but I'm not sure. So, Gunship Battle
Alright.
is the next one. So, on Gunship Battle, I'm going to start off with my top score. My previous score, 4,925. Did you beat that one at least?
I did.
Well, let's see if you beat this one. My top score, 11,352.
Okay. You didn't have to like basically. I was gonna say something. A lot worse.
Slow roll you is the term you're looking for.
I was gonna say something a lot worse, honestly. Like, you didn't have to basically like, sit on my 6,689.
Well, here's the thing. That score was all cheese. Because
Of course you found a cheese method.
well, the problem is I didn't understand how this game worked very well. As I said, reading.
You didn't read.
Well, I did read, but I didn't really understand how to strategize properly. I got that 11,000 points on stage 1.
On stage 1.
So
Jeez.
what I did is I found this perfect little spot where no bombs would hit me, no turret would hit me, and I just camped literally right in front of the door of the enemy base and shot as enemies kept coming out and falling right to my lasers until I farmed 11,000 points.
And you guys, shouldn't I be doing something with these troops?
Well, no, here's the thing. I knew I was supposed to get the troops over there to the thing, but what I didn't realize was how to get them in there. Before,
Like you don't even remember playing this game when you were younger?
well, no, like here's the thing. I wrote up my review not knowing how to get them in there. I was like, I can't get them past these guys. They keep respawning. Like they keep respawning and blocking my dudes. So I was trying to camp them so that way I could get my dudes to just get in there. And then a couple days later, after I wrote my review, I realized, wait a minute. What if I let them go further in the battle and I drop my guys behind enemy lines and let them get in like that? And that's how I managed to get past it. You don't have to destroy every single turret and just kill all the guys as they come out of the enemy camp. That's just
You are a
recipe for disaster.
transport gunship.
I don't know. I thought I was the artillery. I was the main weaponry. I don't know.
Someone hasn't watched enough Star Wars.
But yeah, I did not realize how to do it. So instead of that, I was spawn camping to get 11,000 points, which I found
Okay, that
pretty
makes
funny.
sense now.
But I mean, even the actual gameplay of this game was still pretty fun, even besides like not understanding how to play the game at first. Like just the challenge of trying to like get the stormtroopers in there and being able to heal up on the thing. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. And so my score ended up being a 17 out of 20.
Okay. So, my experience with Gunship Battle was I read the instructions quite carefully, actually. That way I could explain to anyone watching what the game was about. The font was a little bit hard to read because of the old font, but I made it work. So, what you're supposed to do is, for the premise of the game, you are playing as a clone attack transport gunship. Your mission is to get a squad of 4 clones into the enemy base. You can do this by either, as Gyroid did, destroying every enemy in their path as they go, or cheesing in one spot, or by picking them up and then flying them over there as you destroy everything, so you don't avoid being shot down. The thing is, there's an enemy gunship flying around as well. You have to take care of them before you do anything as well. Like, because they are a menace. Trust me. During my gameplay, I had more than enough run-ins with the enemy gunship. Like, you crash into them, you touch them, you basically die. That or you have to a sliver of health. So you had to make sure the enemy gunship was nowhere to be found. Believe me, I had done that gunship more than one time. So whenever I was dead certain that there was nothing in the way, I'll pick up a squad of at least 3, go up in the air, destroy turrets, destroy tanks. Well, tanks came in like level 2, but I digress. And then I'll drop right in front of the door, and then let my 3 in, go back to destroy more stuff, grab a 4th clone, then bring them all the way over, and boom, next stage. Simple as that. Which is how I got my score of 6,689, because I didn't know there was a cheese method. But I enjoyed at first I was frustrated by how many times I was dying, but then eventually it just clicked and I kept going. I was like, oh wait, I can do this. And then it resulted in that score. So, my gunship battle score, after playing it for at least 15 minutes, if not more, because like I wanted to figure it out and get a better score, was a 15 out of 20.
Nice. So, last game on our list is Utapau Chase. Would you like to take it away with Utapau Chase?
I would love to. This game is the one that by far takes the longest for me to complete, or not even just complete, just like even die in, because this isn't even half of the high score that I had already set on this console. But my top score in modern days is 11,905.
Oof. Here is the game where you destroyed me. I had 6,565.
Ha ha!
65.
I'd have to. I'm actually genuinely curious now about what the top score was for that. I had to look in my actual gameplay video in order to find out. But it's my score isn't even half of what the top score is.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do remember this game being like super easy, especially as children.
It was super duper easy. But like, the premise of this game, obviously, you're on Utapau. You're playing as Obi-Wan Kenobi again, but you're riding the little green beastie. You get yes, hello beastie and all that. So, you're riding around on your beastie, and your objective is to find General Grievous and destroy his little spiky ball roller thingy. And to do that, you are destroying little speeders, like little red speeders, little blue speeders. I don't know if there's any difference between them, but you have 2 weapons. You have lasers, and you have your tail. You can use your tail to run the enemies into the wall, or you have your lasers to just blast them away. And the more you upgrade your lasers, the more lasers you shoot. And it can get pretty crazy. There's a big spread. But yeah, sweeping the enemies into the wall is a little bit risky, because you lose health fast if you run into the wall. Trust me on that. But that being said, the first fight isn't exactly Grievous. It's just a weird little speeder thingy. Like, that's not Grievous. Level 2, oh, there's Grievous. But his AI gets smarter and smarter with each level you pass. I perished on level 7 because the 15 minutes I gave this game was enough for one go. And that one go I got to level 7. Grievous was so smart. He took out all 9 of my available lives at that point in that one fight. So I'm fairly certain that his AI had GOPE, G-O-P-E, goal-oriented plan execution. His objective, I'm more than positive. Actually, I didn't even research this. I'm basing it off a Facebook reel I saw, because it makes sense. At least the way according to how it felt. His goal must have been kill player, and he worked backwards in order to he was tracking my movements and adjusting his movement path accordingly. It was scary. I don't know how I got past level 7 when I was younger, but it was a nightmare. All that being said, though, this was still an amazing game. Only reason I score it lower than Chorus on attack, which was at 17, is because the fact that it took so long to do, because I'm so good at the game. But honestly, I didn't want to give any game a perfect score just because like that would seem like I'm letting childhood bias take over. But it's still an amazing game. So for that reason alone, Utapau Chase for me gets a 16 out of 20.
Oh yeah, our opinions are very different of this game, is what I'm
Uh
discovering.
oh.
So,
Uh oh.
the best way I can describe it is to read exactly what I put in my notes here for the first sentence anyway. The most easy of the five, and honestly, probably the most boring. That is my first sentence of my notes.
Ah, I see it.
Like, I don't disagree that like it. I could see where you're coming from, but I personally found the city portions of the level to be boring. Like, it's all very samey. Every single level, you're kind of just. There's not much to do, like, once you have a fully powered up guy. Because you collect these power ups and they do nothing for you. They don't do anything. You just. Because, like, you can collect 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden you're at full power. Your blasts are maximum capacity. And now you're just stuck collecting power-ups in a city which don't do anything. You're just wasting time till you can get to the boss level. I understand the gist. You're trying to expand the game, make it last longer. But, like, it didn't really hit for me. I did like the boss fights. I didn't really get super far, as you could probably tell by the fact I got 65. But I played it through a couple of times, and I did appreciate that the boss gets harder every time. Like, the first boss is way too easy. Second boss, also kind of easy. After that, it starts getting quite difficult. He slams you into the wall, etc. It was like... I enjoyed the fact that the difficulty ramped up every single time. And that did make it fun. But that does not redeem the boring, samey city sections of the levels. And so... my score is a 10 out of 20.
Dang. It seems like we had like opposite opinions of like 2 of the games on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had very similar opinions on like every game except for the 2 that you rated the highest, which I rated the lowest.
Dang. Alright. What is your overall... What did you say your top score for Utapau?
Yeah, 65.
Okay, I must have missed it then.
Yeah, I said it like 3 times already.
Okay, then what's your overall rating?
My overall rating is a 65 out of 100.
My overall rating is a 76 out of 100.
Let me check the scoreboard real quick. See. Oh, okay, you put yours barely in A tier. Meanwhile, mine is middle of B tier. Like, yours is
wow, barely A tier. I didn't even realize that. I tend to check the tiers after I make my score.
Well, I do too. I made my score first and then see where it lands. And, like, although childhood bias will probably have me playing this game again, I don't think it's necessarily a game on the same level as some of our A tier games. Like, I don't know. Well, just think about this. We have Metroid Fusion, Mario Party 7, Kirby, Contra, and I guess somehow Wario Land in A tier.
Well, I enjoyed Wario Land, so...
I enjoyed it, but not A tier level of enjoyed it. I don't really know how I let you get away with that.
Hindsight 2020 and all that.
I mean, I think your score was just way too high for me to let you get away with anything less. And anyway, B tier is full of things like, ignore the fact that Limbo is here because I know you hate it, but Limbo, Yoshi, and Shrek.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore the fact that Limbo's there for the sake of the discussion.
But like, Yoshi and Shrek are in B tier.
While I do see this as an A tier game, like I totally agree with it. Just like what would you say to high B tier?
I'm good with high B tier. Like, I can see my score being a 65 being a little low. Like, it's above Yoshi and Shrek, which I do agree with, and below Limbo, which I'm not sure about, to be honest. I could see it going higher than Limbo. How high of high B tier do you want? B tier goes up to 74.
Mm-hmm.
You want
75, because 76 is A tier.
or 75? Yes, it goes up to 75. And Limbo's at 70. I'm assuming you want it above Limbo. I don't think I'm
I
getting.
would very much like it above
I,
Limbo.
I don't think I'm getting you below Limbo.
I'd say like a 72.
I could hit a 72. Okay, let's throw that up on the scoreboard at a 72, which would put it high B tier.
It's a good compromise.
Yeah. Like, I could see, in terms of my personal tier list, it being like an A tier. But for other people who don't have the same nostalgia as we do, I could not force it up into A tier because I don't think people would have the same enjoyment as we had in this game.
That's fair
Personally.
enough. And this is like a special scoring case anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy with it being high B because it's definitely not a C tier. It's definitely not in the same tier as Bugs Bunny and Star Wars.
Even though this is Star Wars, there's a different Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Academy, I should say. I should specify because they're both Star Wars.
Alright, so with that out of the way, it is time for me to reveal my game choice.
Oh man, I forgot about that part. I can't wait to see what you choose.
I'm gonna be honest, I initially forgot about this too. So, I thought about it a little bit. I wanted to play a game that I hadn't really considered playing before. So, I have my game choice, but I don't really know how to preface this. Other than the fact I looked at the emulator list and said, hey, I want to play that one. Like, I'm genuinely curious about it. I wouldn't see myself playing in my free time, but my game choice for this week is Banjo and Kazooie for the N64.
Oh, interesting. I have wondered about Banjo-Kazooie. I've never bothered playing it, but I have been curious.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
But yeah, it did come out in the same era as like Mario 64 and all those games, so there's a chance it could be good.
Yeah, I was like, haven't played Banjo and Kazooie before. This could be interesting.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, tune in next week if you guys want to hear our review on Banjo-Kazooie. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/SafeHouseScoreboard. We upload videos every once in a while from our gameplay, and we have our podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Patreon as an RSS feed that you can listen to your podcasts anywhere you listen to podcasts. Check out Atomizer's channel. He streams on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at night, Saturday mornings. And thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Later.
See ya!